Welcome to Sabbath Session podcast. Today we have got Jess. Jess, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm alright. I want you to give me a little bit of context about you in terms of your lifting career so far for our listeners.
Okay. Um, so I started in high school. I got recruited randomly by a classmate to go and train with them. And I honestly didn't like lifting at first. I think just because I thought I was weak. Um, but then I ended up loving it when I came back a different session. And, that just continued through high school. I graduated, everything. Got to college, started lifting for the college, got through with that. About midway through my college career, I was like, let me go to the IPF because I need somebody to push me. And like at the time, Tiff was like coming in and like, you know, just going through every record and everything. So I was like, let me switch. So I did. And well, now we're here.
I mean, talking about it, by the time when you said teeth were coming, just for anyone who's listening, or just full of context here, you're 22 years old, you're still a junior. So
Yes.
so his so his teeth, right?
Yeah.
So the funny thing is when you say by the time teeth were coming, it makes it feels like she's been around for a very long time. But unfortunately, she's just a junior. And then the funny thing is what she has achieved and then the amount of time she's been in the sport is just ridiculous. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
People sometimes don't realize she's still a junior. She's a four-time world champion,
Hmm.
open,
Hmm.
right? That is just bonkers, right? So I mean, I'll ask you the first question in terms of like how being at the top of the weight class, you joining that battles. Does she motivate you?
Oh, for sure. Just like looking at her training, I know she doesn't post like a whole ton, but just knowing that there's somebody out there who's stronger than me and has proven it, right? She like pushes me indirectly, and I think I might do the same back to her as well. Yeah, which is great because then we both just like continue to make progress, and it's like a healthy battle going on because we're both the same age.
How do you come in terms of like with your world experience, of course you were there in Malta. I didn't really get time to talk to you in Malta much. We spent more time in Lithuania this time than in Malta.
Yeah.
So I guess in Malta you left early as well, isn't it? After you compared, you did not stay all the way to the end. So how do you compare both experience at international level, Malta and Lithuania?
I would say for Malta, so I did stay until the banquet and everything, but I
Oh
didn't go
well.
out and socialize with like everybody. I like more did my own thing, traveled to these places, went to go see things on my own. Um and then this year I took more time to like be with people, be in the community, like reach out and like talk to all these different people from everywhere. And for me personally, I loved talking to all these people from different countries, like all here for the same thing. Um, so I would say in comparison, like I enjoyed Lithuania more just because of the socialization aspect, with everybody who was there.
I can sense it. Lithuania was different, not because I won. I'm not saying that, right? You know,
Oh,
you
okay.
you, you
Yeah.
probably was about to say that, but I didn't say that. But I think was different. It's just like the people around, spending that time from as soon as you lift, it's almost like the stress and all the anxiety is gone. You just enjoy the lifting. Literally, you sit there as an spectator in the audience and you just scream for everybody else. I think to me, this time was even better, especially like I felt like as a powerlifting community, as a powerlifting family, we felt a little bit more connected in Lithuania than it was in Malta. Because Malta, I get it, is a touristic area, it's touristic place, people coming with their family on a holiday, but Lithuania is not really a holiday spot. So it's almost like where we were, we just have to stick together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we can't go anywhere. We just have to stick together. So I felt that connection was a little bit better this time around, and the support across the board as well was tremendous. I'm gonna revert back to your own training in terms of like leading to Lithuania. How was training leading to Lithuania?
Honestly, it was pretty great. So I guess let me back it up a little more. In prep for nationals, for the US nationals, I had like a health issue in like January that made me lose a ton of weight. So I was sitting at like high 44s, very low 45. And because of that,
I was about to even ask you, are you talking about 20, you were about 25, 30 kilos? But gone.
yeah, 44, 45. Anyway, yeah. So since then, I have been like on my journey to gain all that weight back. And then I have been, but then I've also like gotten sick again, and then it's lost again. And then it's just like a little cycle. But luckily, leading into Lithuania, it was like consistent for me, my weight. And up until like 4 weeks out, I was still pretty lowish, like in the 45.5 kilo range. And I was able to eat through like my whole peaking process and everything, which is really great. Luckily, I had no injuries, strains, nothing this prep, which is really good too. And honestly, like everything just seemed like it was like clockwork. Like everything was feeling great, like clicking, even my squats, and I hate squats personally. Uh, but like even that felt like locked in, which is pretty nice. So I don't
Oh,
know. It was just different this time around.
so do you hate squats is because um you can't squat as close as to Tiffany Chapon?
Oh, 100%. No, it's definitely because it just I feel like I'm a folding chair. Like it just, you know.
But I'm looking at your data here, right? To be fair, like what? Since 20, I'm not gonna go too far back because I don't want to embarrass you. So since 2022, you've added 5 kilos on your squat in 2 years.
I know, right? It's just like what we were talking about with, oh, never mind,
That's
I'm not gonna say that.
that's not too bad. I mean, I haven't had 5 kilo on my squat since 2020. I mean, since 2022. No, I've actually added a little bit more than you. But yeah, but the reality is like nobody likes squats to be honest. And I mean, there's people that are there that squatters. As much as like myself, Ross, the rest of these big guys or big lifters, yes, we are squatters. In powerlifting nowadays, if you don't squat, there's no point of you even talking about it, unless you are Anna, you're gonna come and pull 400 kilos. But yeah, I don't think most of people like squats. Only a few people like squat. I love squatting, I really do. If powerlifting was just a squat competition, I would do it on any day. I love squatting. But one thing I don't like is benching, and you can tell.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, easily. I love. Don't take the piss out of me, but yeah, you can tell. I can't bench. So yeah. So I mean, in Malta, right? Talk me through a bit like the competition itself in terms of like. I don't want to do so much of a recap, about more about the feeling around it. How did you feel? Knowing you're going up against Tiffany, and of course, this was one of them competition where Tiffany makes a mistake, you capitalize, and then you might come out there as a world champion. So how was the feelings around your feeling around the whole competition?
Like this one versus Malta, or like just
Oh,
in
sorry,
a.
I'm talking about Lithuania itself. When you turn
Oh,
up to Lithuania, yeah.
oh, honestly, like because I knew I was in such a good position with my training and my taper and like everything just like felt locked in. Even on the day, I knew, let's say like even after bench, I was like, okay, like I'm still in this. Like there's no way I'm gonna be out of the game yet. Um, I just had a different mindset coming into this year because I felt so confident in my training and like everything that I worked for because I had honestly been very like serious with it this time around and I didn't let other factors like get in the way or let's say like doubts and stuff. Like I
Yeah.
just completely worked on that and like mindset. Yeah. So, um, I don't know. Like it was just like I said, it was just different, but in a positive way. Because I really looked forward to each lift and like taking it as it was, whatever, just like stacking up the total, I guess, until the last deadlift.
I mean, I was because of course you guys lifted like the day. I mean, you lifted on Saturday, isn't it? Your one was Saturday.
Yeah.
So I flew in on Sunday, but I was watching the 47 from home when I was packing. Um, the reality is, I looked at your bench press. I was asking myself so many questions. What the fuck happened? How can you go to war and miss two bench attempts? What's wrong with you?
I don't know, man. It was just I was just cheating, I guess.
Because I literally said to me, like, to myself, if she go that bench press, she would not have to load the 197 kilos deadlift.
Yeah. I know I was telling myself the same thing. If I would have gotten that second or third attempt of 95, like I wouldn't have had to load 197.
So tell me what happened in the bench press then. What happened?
I don't know if I want to get too political here.
Get political. You know, this is a safe place. You can be safe. You know, this is a safe place. You can be honest.
Um, Honestly, I think looking at the sessions after mine, I think it was a bit unfair how they were judging our bench depth so strictly versus like literally the next session in the morning. It was like night and day difference. Things that passed in other sessions wouldn't have passed in ours. And honestly, like it just happens. Like you can't please everybody, right? I guess. Um and yeah, oh well. I guess I
But
just have to get better.
at least you didn't do what happened to the 52 from Australia that bombed out on bench. So to me, I felt that was unfair because
Mhm.
some of her bench was good. You know,
Right,
unfortunately, she didn't get the bench. But again, right, going back to this bench depth conversation, I don't really like talking about it on the podcast because I feel like everybody have got their own opinion about this one, right? I think the referees, the judge, people that are watching in on the audience, you know, even the lifters ourselves as well on the platform, we have our own opinion in terms of what bench depth meant to people. Do you know what I mean?
right.
What do you feel? How do you feel about this?
Um, I kind of feel like the results would have been different if I would have lifted or been like a part of a heavier weight class and lifted another day. Um,
So,
that's
so it was just the day. It was to you. It was just the day. Maybe if they remove you from the
yeah,
first, if they remove you from the first day, you're lifting. Maybe on the third day, things will change a little bit. So it
yeah.
means you know the answer to that, right? Get yourself, get
Yeah.
yourself a McDonald's membership and put on weight. Get up a weight class, and then you'll be
I guess
fine.
I
Then you'll be fine. But
have. Don't.
you know, then you'll be fine right there. The other thing as well, again, like your deadlift is getting to places where it's getting a little bit stupid now, right? As a 47 kilo, for we know the world record is held by I think Ella. I think she has the world record. If I'm not mistaken, I think she has the world record. But again, when I look at your deadlift, you attempting the 197, 97.5 kilos. That's not far off. What has it clicked on it? Have you always been a deadlifter, or is it something that just like comes natural to you?
Um, I think I think deadlift has always been the easiest for me to progress and my strongest. Even though like yeah, I did take a lot of time to get to that technical level to where it feels natural now and it's just like going and going. Um, but yeah, I think it's always just kind of been better than my other two.
Yeah, because I'm just on context here for those that are listening here. Your best pull is 182.5 kilos, right? At 47 kilo body weight.
Yeah,
That's just madness. There are men out there that are praying they can lift 170,
right.
right? So that's just insane. And again, at the same time, is at a world you jumped 197.5, which is 15 kilo of your best deadlift. That is heavy. So in training, right? Did you pull anything close to that?
No,
What was your best pull in training?
I think it was even below like a comp PR, probably like 180. Or actually, no, because when we were supposed to pull 180, we decided not to, and we decided to do 177 instead. So that was my heaviest pull in training.
Okay. Look, I know I can't talk, right? I end up in Lithuania and I surprise Flex and Matt Gary with my 15 kilo PR on the deadlift. I know I can't talk, but at least me in training, I pulled numbers that I knew it was my top end could be 350, 360. Do you know what I mean? So yes, of course I didn't put the 340 or three, but the way the RP were going with the numbers I was pulling in training, I was pulling 325 at RP like four or nothing. Do you know what I mean? So at that point, we already knew, oh yeah, your top end is just fucking stupid. But you to pull the 177, how fast was this 177 for you to warrant and load a 197.5 a world?
Honestly, I feel like we should have opened heavier. Um, because usually we take the approach to like go 9 for 9, like stack up all the keys. But knowing that in this competition, especially after bench, we kind of had to change our strategy because, stacking it up wasn't just going to win it anymore.
Yeah.
We took the first as planned to get into the meet, of course, with deadlift. We don't want to bomb out there, but it felt so fast. And then the second one, even faster. Like I know I bobbled and I think I got like two whites and a red because it was so fast. Like usually if I like go too fast like that, I'll fall back. And it felt like that. And I was like, you know what? Like we can just shoot for the stars at this point. I'm like, let's just go for it. Because we had nothing to lose at that point because Tiff hadn't got her second at that point. So we were like, if we pull for the win, like we'll adjust it as we see like if she pulled her third or not. So that's what we were waiting on. But then also like I already had second locked in. And then I already had like World Games locked in too. Deadlift Gold was already locked in. So I was just like, why not? There is
I
no
mean,
risk.
to be honest, you are in that position of the likes of Anna, the likes of these big pullers, do you know what I mean? Where you lock in your position in your second pull, your first pull, and the third pull is just for you to basically almost like look at the position. So who am I gonna knock down? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you guys have got that basically that power that some of us are craving to have one day. You know what I mean? So hopefully one day it will happen. But in terms of like, because this world championship had a lot of riding into it. Do you know what I mean? It had the Sheffield qualify, the World Games. Do you know? So basically, it meant so much in this world championship to us than pretty much than any other world championship we ever had before. And then the next one we're gonna have is similar. Will be in 4 years' time when people will start fighting again for the World Games. So what was the goal for you going into this one? Was it just to win, or the qualifying to Sheffield, or the qualifying to the World Games?
Our first goal was to win, of course. But if that wasn't our first goal, of course, qualify for China, potentially qualify for Sheffield. And at first, also one of our goals was like try to go 9 for 9 if the win was out of reach, just so we could get the highest total possible for Sheffield. Because I know if I would have loaded 190, maybe 192, it would have been there. Like I know on the day of it was good. But like at the end of the day, we still I decided to pull for the win instead, which kind of like knocked me down on those rankings for Sheffield. But at the end of the day, I don't regret it because I know no other time I would have been able to do that. Usually we stick to our plan very like strictly, but this time I was just like, let's just go for it.
But the thing is, like, I know chef is really important for in powerlifting for powerlifters, right? So to me, I'm the biggest advocate for the World Championship, and I've always been. Do you know what I mean? I love what SPD is doing. They're my main sponsors. At Sheffield, they're doing a wonderful job. But to me, I always put the World Championship before Sheffield in terms of not because in the past like I was not a contender or I was not someone to qualify for Sheffield, but if I had an opportunity, do you win a world championship when you qualify for Sheffield? I will win the world championship.
Yeah,
Do you know what
I
I mean?
agree.
To me, that is priority to me. That's the legacy I want to leave for my son, for my family. And I'd rather them to call me a world champion than them to call me a Sheffield winner. Sheffield winner is good, is a good, a bigger check for my missus. My missus will love it. She'll go to Bali probably. Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah, of course.
amazing, right? But in terms of like the world title to me, it's just massive. For instance, look at Gustav. He's a Sheffield winner, but that was his first world title. You know, you expect like you think like he's won world championships in the open. No, he's never. He always try every year. That was his first. Same thing with Agatha. She's won Sheffield, but that was her first world title. You know what I mean? You expect these people to have multiple world championship for them to be Sheffield winners. No, that was the first, you know? So I can't understand where you're coming from. The world title come before anything, anything. Right. But anyway, as you said, now shoot for the stars, you will land wherever you land. But again, in terms of like the Sheffield as well, let me since we're on the topic of Sheffield, what do you guys think of Sheffield? And I've heard about the boys talking about Sheffield in the US. But in terms of like the females, haven't really had a conversation with the female lifters in the US in terms of like the impact Sheffield is having in powerlifting in the US.
I would say that for everybody, it's something that everybody looks forward to watching all the time. They love that it's like being broadcasted. Like you said, SBD is doing a great job with all this, getting powerlifting out there. And in the US, like as y'all probably know, it's powerlifting is just not as big, but these events are giving us opportunities to further push that agenda and like make it more normalized, I guess, to the public eye. Because most people just look at powerlifting and they're like, oh, yeah, the bench artists suck. Oh, sumo sucks. That shouldn't count in comp and stuff like that. But like, then they see these high-end competitions and like people like Jesus, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's one of our own, like representing, doing all this crazy stuff. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
so I guess from my point of view, it like maybe it increases patriotism in the US. They find every little excuse to increase patriotism, like
I
on the
mean,
whole.
if that's what Sheffield is doing for the Americans, then so be it, right? Then so be it. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're doing a better. I mean, Sheffield is doing a better job than Trump. So yeah, so because at least the increasing patriotism, that man is not helping, is it? But anyway, talking about Sheffield again, I know you mentioned about the impact it's having in America. Would you come and watch Sheffield next year?
I would love to, but I know it's sold out.
I know, too late.
I know it is too late. Let
So you
me,
might
I'll
pick
like
up the
stay.
phone.
Can I
Yeah,
handle
pick
you?
up. Yeah, you know what? You can handle me. It's fine. You can handle me as long as you don't make me YOLO my last deadlift. Then you can handle me. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
That's fine. That's fine. You know, if you come to me saying, look, I'm gonna make you pull, 340 for your last and no YOLO, that's fine. You know what I mean? That's fine. That's good. So yeah, going back to that Sheffield conversation, in terms of like watching from home, the first edition and the second edition, what was your thoughts when you were watching them at home?
I think it was just you could like feel the energy through the TV, especially because I watched all the like interviews and stuff leading up to it as well. So just like knowing all the athletes' backstories and like what this means to them and like what they're putting in to the competition, how they're approaching it, all that stuff. It feels different when you feel connected to these people, especially because now I've talked to all of them basically in person or most of them. Um, so just like watching it from home, I don't know, I feel the same as if I were literally sitting in the audience. But I know that in the audience, it's a whole different thing. I know it's a whole different thing, but
I
I
think
was,
it's a sport. In the audience, it's a
yeah,
sport, right? It's a sport. It's something like whatever we see in football. I'm talking about real football. I'm not talking about that thing that you guys hold in your hands and run away with. You know what I mean? I'm talking about real football, the one that you guys call soccer. So
Right.
things we see in football, basketball, all these major sports, literally the vibe, the excitement, that's what Sheffield is all about. So it's an event, it's a show. It's not really so much of a powerlifting competition, but it's a show that is needed in the sports that we are in to just elevate potential. So yeah, I mean, would you be supporting Americans at Sheffield, or would you be just be supporting anyone? Because Sheffield
No,
is not about countries.
I've been supporting everybody. Like I was yelling for everybody at my TV. I know y'all can't hear me, but I was yelling. I neighbors could hear me. They'd be like, why is she yelling Ale? Ale? Like
Allez,
Ale, Ale.
allez.
Yeah, I'll turn whatever nationality for that 5 seconds that they're lifting and then next one, on to the next. Yeah.
Yeah, I think at the moment, right, to me, I think after Sheffield, if you want to do an event or a show in powerlifting at the moment, I know you guys in America, there's a few meets that Pete Spence is organizing in terms of like money meet, which is great. But at the moment for me is if you don't do Sheffield, if you're an experienced show or event, go and do the silent worker meet, the one in Paris, right?
Right.
So this is my second edition. I've done it. So people sometimes ask me like, "Are you crazy? You always do these me after a week or two or 10 days after World." I said, "You don't understand. When I go to World, I'm competing on that platform. I'm doing for my country. I'm doing for people that supporting me. I'm doing for everybody, and including myself. But when I go to Silent Worker, I'm doing for me alone." Right? Even those numbers I pick is the numbers I want to hit on the platform. When I go to World, the GB team pick the numbers. Do you know what I mean? They tell me this is where you're lifting, you're going to lift it. Right?
Right, right.
This is where you want where this is where we want you to place, you're gonna place there. So and then I don't have a problem with that. I love it because I love lifting for my nation, I love lifting for that team. Whatever they want me to do, I will do it. But when I go to silent worker, that's me.
Mhm.
Right? That's why people always ask me like you're just crazy. So I always say like if there's a meat that you want to taste the event or the show, go and do silent worker. It's brilliant.
And
Plus, you're in France.
yeah, right. Actually, so that night that we were all at like hanging out
Yeah,
after everything, well,
yeah.
I talked to Panna about it and I was like, "Hey, let's do this. Let's go."
Where's my invite?
Yeah, I was like, "Let's go. Let's do it." He said that there was a silent worker meet happening in December maybe. So, I'm pretty sure me and Tiff are gonna do it.
That's good. That's because
I
that
know.
December.
I'm so excited because
Oh
I
man,
love to compete with her, like not on just the world stage, but like just in a local meet or whatever, like just anything, because it's a whole different vibe whenever it's like a world championship on a line versus like you versus yourself or versus her or whatever.
but you do know that she beat me this year, right? I
Yeah,
actually came second to her.
I know, I saw.
I know. I owe her a beat. Literally, I'm pissed off about that. So I'm gonna return. Next
Are
time
you
when I
about to do it
return,
in December
I'm
too?
gonna I'm gonna return the December one because it's to be too much. I can't because of Sheffield in January. But I will return to Sound Worker to give Tiffany Chapone her beat back. She beat me this year. I'm not gonna forget that.
I don't know
you
about
know.
that because you might have to beat me too.
Look, when it comes to silent worker, there is no weight class in the jungle in silent worker. We all animal fighting for it. I don't care. You come in, I'll include you, I'll crush you too. So yeah, I'm pissed off about that.
You
The
know,
funny thing is like every time I compete, I've competed with my competitors. I don't really care how they do, how they beat me or not beat them. I don't give a shit. But even like all these matchup people talking about Sheffield, me and Russ, whoever win, I don't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? I really don't care. But that beat that I got from Tiffany Chapon, no, I would never want to forget that. You know what I mean? I'm pissed off about that. So I'm training to the seventh edition. That's where my mindset is. It's not even Sheffield, that edition, because I need to give her back. So yeah, but again, like because the reason I'm talking like this is because it's a show. I do that for me. Do you know what I mean? You will do
right, right.
silent worker for you. You're not there to start picking numbers, thinking, oh yeah, I need to do this to do that. No, no, no. You just pick the numbers you want to pick, how you feel on the day, and plus the crowd is there for you, for everybody. They don't have a favorite or Pana is on the platform, they'll scream more louder for Pana or louder for Tiff. No, I mean, they even scream louder for me, to be honest. I think so. I can claim that, so I felt it. But yeah, that's it. So I was there with P3, it was amazing. Krastav was there as well. It's like, I think it's one of the best meet of the year that we normally do. So yeah, my advice would be if you want to do it, please do it. You'll have
Oh,
fun.
I know. I'm already planning on it. I already told them
Well,
I'm like, catch me there in December. If the Sheffield wild cards come out and I'm not on there, catch me in December. I'll be there.
I mean, the winter edition is even much better than the summer edition. The winter edition is amazing. So you will have fun on that winter edition. And maybe I'm gonna fly to come and watch. Maybe I'm gonna handle you there. Who knows?
Oh my God, yeah.
You know, I'm gonna
Maybe
fly
you're
because
gonna try to meet me there.
yeah, that would be amazing.
Like go do openers or something.
So I know, of course, now you, of course, you are arguably you are the second best 47 kilo woman in the world, right? In the history, in terms of like what you've done on that platform. And I know a lot of people, when you lifted in that Lithuania, a lot of us were saying she's a future world champion because you are pushing world championship numbers. Unfortunately, you are just in Stephanie Chapon era.
Mm-hmm.
That's the unfortunate. But again, you have shown you have the potential and the strength to be and to give Tiffany Chapon a match. So moving forward in terms of like, of course, you qualify for the World Games in China. How did your family perceive that? Because I know so much about this powerlifting. Our family know. Even me, like my mom still tell me like you need to stop squatting. It's no good for your age. You need to stop that. So how did your family perceive when you brought the panda home?
You know, they were watching the live and they texted me immediately. They're like, "Why the fuck are they giving you a panda?" I'm like, I don't know. And then I realized, I'm like, oh wait, is it China like
Yeah,
getting Dubai?
yeah, yeah,
I was like, oh, that's why they're giving it to us. And then, they took us in the bag, started taking pictures,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, my family was all like, China, like, aren't you scared? Isn't that too far away? Like all this. And I'm like, be for real. Like, y'all are stressed out about the wrong thing. Like, it's kind of the same, like you just said with your mom, how she tells you to stop squatting. For me, my mom is like, stop deadlifting. You're gonna hurt your back. I don't know how you do all that, and you're not peeing yourself on the platform. I'm like, Mom, that
I
ain't me.
mean,
Sorry.
powerlifters on that platform and in Lithuania. Believe me, if that platform can be tested after 3 days of lifting, I'm sure a lot of people are not gonna step foot on that platform. So it's pretty much like people used to that platform. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
that's next time tell your mom it's allowed. It's fine. It's fine. This is the only place. It's the only place that I can pee in front of TV, in front of the audience. It's the
Mhm.
only free place I can do it. Is that on that platform, that powerlifting platform. So you good. You
You
got a
gotta,
green light.
you gotta be unique sometimes, right? You gotta let
Exactly. Exactly. Let it all out. So yeah. So now China is here. Of course, you've qualified for the World Games. Of course, it's just gonna be fun, isn't it? In terms of like this World Games coming up. So is it priority for you the World Games next year or the World Championship?
I think probably the World Championship because I know that like what is it? The scoring is different at the World Games. And I know for
Yeah.
me, because I'm usually so light, and like I literally had to eat into this meat to weigh 46.8 or whatever I
But
weighed.
you have the advantage though because the 47 they will be paired up with the 52s.
Yeah, but I'll be lighter and doing the same weight that I'm doing now. So I'm
I
sure it'll
mean,
be fine.
all you need to do, you need to total get to 440, 440, 450 for the World Games.
Yeah, but if I weigh like sub 45, nobody's gonna stop me.
It's true. It's true. It's true. That is actually a fact right there. That is actually a
Right.
fact.
So
Are you planning to weight lighter, or are you planning to eat a little bit more into the meat?
I'm planning to eat more into like open world championships and just sit at whatever I'm at for world games. Usually, like I said, my body weight changes. Um, but by then it'll probably still be like 45 and a half or something.
Yeah. I mean, do you guys fear about in terms of like the world championship that will come next year? Because my fear, I feel like a lot of people will prioritize the world games and they're not going to turn up to the world championship. Are these conversations? Have you heard this conversation going on in America, or is he? Because I know you guys are big states. It's hard for you to talk to each other, but do you think this is something that might happen next year?
Um, Actually, no, I don't know. I don't think so because, there's only one day to become a world champion, but World Games like also only comes only every 4 years, and it's the first year for Classic, all that. I'm sure people are gonna want to put out like just as good of a performance there versus like or like as Worlds, but at least for me, I don't think I'm gonna put World Games as priority above the World Championships. But of course, you still want to do just as well. So I have no idea though.
Because for me personally, I think the World Games is there as almost like it's a prestige event. You go there, you do it. It's there that I've done it, right? But unless you are Austin Perkins, the guys are I mean or Sonita, the guys are running to win it. You know what I mean? Then you think where
Right,
the priority is. But people like me at the World Games, I'm going up against Austin Perkins. Do you know what I mean? I'm going up against Shell,
right, right.
you know? And the reality is, the chance for me to beat Perkins and Shell's GL point at the World Games is just stupid. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. So these are the guys that totally 120 plus, on the GL point. So unless they decided not to cut weight, they come to my weight class, then it's a dogfight. Do you know what I mean? That is a dogfight. But rather than that, it's just a fun. So the world championship is, as you said, for me, I think it's priority always. Do you know what I mean? That always gonna take priority for me because that's where you build that legacy.
Yeah, I
Um,
think for World Games, why don't you go on a little summer cut and then just weigh light?
Me,
Yeah,
do you know what? Talking about it, before I started powerlifting, I was 59 kilos.
really?
So yeah, that was 59 kilos. That was over like 10 years ago. So it means, the 59s, am
You
I
could
coming
always
knocking?
return.
Exactly, I can always do
Yeah,
it. Why not? You know what I mean? If Evie has done it, and Team has done it, and now Ericsson in Sweden has done it to go down. So why not? You never
yeah,
know. I'll think about it. I've got Kedrick on my side, so I'll think about it.
yeah.
Let's
You
see
got a
if we
whole
can.
year.
Exactly, we'll see if we can make 59s. But yeah, I would look really good though.
Might look like a big.
Trust me, trust me. In terms of your coaching, I know you are with TSG and all of that. I just want to ask one thing because there's this misconception going on around with TSG with their approach to the athlete, right? I'm not the only one that is raising this. I'm not the only one that is saying this. I've spoken to Jason about this and I asked as well questions on this one. In terms of like their rep work, the volume, the tonnage, how you handling, especially you a small person, because the
Like,
TSG are known for them being a lot of volume, a lot of tonnage weekly. How you handling that?
well, honestly, I communicate very well with my coaches. I think that's the biggest thing because in TSG, yeah, they give you, rep ranges, tonnage, like the volume that they want you to have for like the week or for the month or for the block, whatever, right? But if you just do them and you also don't have the mental capacity to listen to your own body and be like, wait, this might be a little too much. Like maybe I'm like, this is gonna be dangerous for me. Like, I don't know what you're doing then, because you can just adjust that. Like you can just send them a quick message, be like, hey, maybe I can't do this today. Let me, reduce weight or reduce this. They'll help you problem solve and work through it. At least for me, that has always been the case because as soon as I don't overreact about like how I feel and stuff. Usually I just like do it, right? Do the work that they give me. But if it's truly like too much, like I will tell them and I'll be like, guys, like I can't do this today. I'll make it up or something another day, maybe, or let me know what you think. Maybe we should just skip it. Because that happened actually a lot for me in this world's prep. I'm just remembering for the last 2 or 3 weeks of prep, I had I have two SBD days, and one of them um was like my I guess like primer-ish day and the
Primary,
other
yeah.
one was just um my primary. And then that first day I could never like build up to the weight. Like my back would just like give out just because my squats were so heavy that day and like my bench was also very heavy that day. My back would just give out after like a set or two of deadlifts. So instead, I would change my own program and conventional with like 120 just to like get that work in but like not lose as much volume as I would if I were to just like completely knock out deadlifts. And that happened like for those last 3 weeks. And I mean, I turned out fine. I didn't get
So
injured.
when you change it with their approval or you just change it yourself, you're thinking like, fuck this shit. I can't do this. I'll do my own shit.
I usually change it myself.
And now you wonder why you missed that 197 kilo point five deadlift.
But I usually tell them after. And I'm like, hey guys, I changed this because I felt like ass. Let me know what we should do moving forward. There we go.
Okay. Are you a coach yourself?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess you have got enough knowledge to change all of that because someone like me, I'm not a coach, so I wouldn't know even where to start. So when Christian run numbers, I just die with it, right? Because I die with it, and at the end I say, look, I'm fucked for the next 3 days. Don't talk to me, don't call me, don't ask me for no video, no feedback, nothing. In 3 days' time, reach out, and then I'll tell you what's going on. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, at least again, as I said, you have got that knowledge to change all of that. That's great. The other thing I want to ask is in terms of like how close the coaching staff is with TSG because we know TSG is a group of individual that train people. Is it just you have got one person that look after you, or you can go to other individuals as well, like the likes of Arian, Jason himself, and Ben? Can you utilize the resources, or it's just you?
Well, for me, primarily, I'm always gonna go to Jason and Tori first because both of them are my coaches together. Um, but if I were to have another concern or would want like a third or fourth point of view, I could reach out to the other coaches and they would like, give me guidance, but also be like, check in with Jason, make sure this is like what he wants or whatever. Um, so yes, you could reach out to other coaches, but me personally, I just like stick with them because I'm not really like a high maintenance athlete. Like you just give me what you need me to do and I'll do it. But like, I know,
You'll do it. Someone that changed the program in the
yeah,
gym, they'll do it.
and I'll
Okay,
and
no
I'll
high
change.
maintenance. I agree. You're no high maintenance. I agree.
Exactly. Um, but, like it's fine. It turned out well. I mean, clearly, it
Yeah, yeah, of course,
turned out so
definitely.
well.
Tell that what. Just like that's why you missed that 197 point
That's
five kilo
why
deadlift.
that's why I
Okay,
went 6 for 9 or something like that.
yeah, exactly, exactly. If because if you didn't change your program, probably you could have gone 9 for 9.
I
So in terms of like, in terms of your training and the program, you mentioned in the beginning you do not like squatting.
know.
What does it entail? Is it because of the amount of work you need to do on the squat, or is it just something that doesn't click?
I think it's just it's both. I think at first maybe it was because it didn't click. Because I went through a couple different stances. Like I used to be really wide because that's how I squatted when I first started because I did equipped first like in my early days in high school. Um so I squatted wide. But then I kept getting adductor issues And also like with sumo deadlift, like obviously that wasn't gonna get any better. So I had to switch some things when I got with Jason. So we went really narrow and it worked, but it felt very unnatural, but it felt strong. So we continued with that, and then just gradually I like adjusted it out to like a not so wide stance, like kind of shoulder width my on my own, just to see how it felt and stuff. Because I know I was stronger wide. Like I think I squatted 145 back in like 2021 or 2022, like raw, very
No,
wide. But then my adductors got fucked up and I couldn't do it anymore. So, and I didn't do it in competition either. It was just a gym lift. Um,
that's why I open your data. I'm thinking, okay,
yeah,
I
you're like, I
smell
don't know
some.
about
Yeah, I
that.
smell some. Yeah, some lies here. But yeah, but in terms of like, because there's a lift that you don't really like in terms of like, as you said, like the work ethic and all of that thing that comes around it. What advice would you give to someone that hates a lift? Like me, I don't like my bench press, right? My bench press start loving me now, but I'm gonna start giving a little bit of love as well and see where it leads. But what advice would you give me, someone that don't like a particular lift or is not enjoying a particular lift?
I would say like just find whatever works best for you. Because I know a lot of us try to take from other lifters and like copy their stances, copy this, copy that. Right. And that's fine, right? To learn what works and what doesn't. But at the end of the day, only you know your body best and how your body's going to move in that lift. Nobody else is going to know that for you except you. So just like work on that and, you know, get stronger. Like that's it. Don't be
So
weak.
basically, so basically, what you're trying to say to people, you should shut the fuck up and get stronger.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So that means, so I can revert that back saying you shouldn't be worrying about bench death. Just get strong and bury that bench next time you get it.
Yeah, that's what Enna told me. And look, now I hit bench depth, so
So
now he just has to get his up.
true. Just get stronger. Just get stronger. Stop crying around it.
God, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I got my last few questions. I'm gonna move on to basically the women powerlifting in terms of like where it's going, in terms of like the weight classes across the board. What weight class does it excite you the most, beside the 47?
I really love watching the 76s and the 84 pluses. They are like crazy just because they're so stacked. They have like three people at the top who could all potentially like get each other out of like first place, second place. They could all knock each other down with like whatever attempts that they take. So it's just always, you're always on your toes watching them. Like it's, yeah, I love watching both of those.
So I'm sure, of course, we sat there close to each other when Sunita squatted 311.
Hmm.
That woman, if you hear me, Sunita, I'll still go something about it because she loaded at 311 because I squatted 310. She put 1 kilo on that squat just because she wanted to out squat me. Yes, anyone who's listening to this, yes, Sunita loaded 311 because of me. Right? I will own that.
Well,
So
you
when you,
just gotta
when
get
you
stronger.
I know I gotta get started. That's why I went to silent worker. 10 days later, I loaded 312. Right? Because Sonita is not getting the years out squatting me. It's not happening. Um, so you seen her squatting 311. What was your reaction when that happened?
I was just like, what the hell? Like, what are they feeding these people? What are they feeding themselves? I need some of that. Give it to me right now. Because like my squat sucks and I'm trying to squat 311. So
A 47 kilo body weight. So get that McDonald's membership. I told you you will score 311. Easy.
there you
Um,
go.
the thing is, like me, when it happens, I was sitting. When they said they loaded 311, I didn't know what to do with myself anymore. I didn't know whether to sit, to stand up, or to do what. Because all I knew is I'm gonna just have to look at her in the eyes while she was doing it. And I knew she did load 311 is because I saw the 310. Right? I stood there right in front of the cameras, right in front of when they say squat. I was literally staring at her like that. I was just like, oh my God, this is just, people. I know people are talking about this. People are watching it on YouTube, on videos. No, you should witness this,
Hmm.
right? It was just I think it was one of those the best moment in powerlifting. To
Yeah.
see a woman squat that much weight is just. I know she totaled 731, which is the world record, which is like a bigger even goal. You know what I mean? A bigger target. But that 311, come on. I know how a 300 kilo squat feels, right? So for Sunita to load 311, no, she deserves all the respect in the world for that squat. It was just bonkers. In terms of like, of course, that's probably one of the moments that we're talking about in Lithuania. But from your side, what was if I can ask you, the three best moments that you enjoyed that will live on forever that you watch in Lithuania?
I think,
Both men and women.
man, there's a lot.
You can
I
you
think
can you can be patriotic here. It's fine.
I think it definitely has to be like I really loved watching, of course, the 84 women's, like I said, and the 76s. Both of their sessions were crazy. I loved watching, I was watching your session, so of course that one. Um, and also the men's 93s. I think the reason why I really liked the men's 93s too was because, like, one of my own, like, Petrie is a really good friend of mine. And just watching him go out and have a really good day on his first Worlds appearance, like internationally, it was just really nice because I was in that position last year and I know how sometimes the pressure can get to you, but he did not let that get to him. And he just like went out there and did his thing. And I was so proud because of that. So that's patriotism. I didn't watch the 74s, but I wish I did because I know people were screaming and going crazy about Austin. Apparently, that whole thing was like, I saw videos about it. Everybody was like going crazy. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah,
Austin was just crazy. He was
insane.
just
Yeah.
mental. So yeah, the 74 is one of those sessions where like because it's Austin Perkins, the strongest or not the strongest, the best powerlifters that ever lived. To me, in my opinion, he will go down as the best powerlifter that ever lived. And Jesus will go down as the apex predator, the strongest powerlifters in life. Do you know what I mean? And you can't take that away from him. Yes, as you said, there was so many good moments in Lithuania, right? You turn, to turn around and watch the Americans, watch the French screaming
Mhm.
alley, the American, the USA, Ashton going there. Do you know what I mean? And
I just remembered
Austin
my favorite moment.
gone.
You remember when the 69s are competing
Yeah.
and that one guy started yelling at the jury and I guess Don,
The Italian, yeah.
that's the moment that'll go in history for me.
I think that he's the Italian president. I think the football the federation president. But I think it was about Carola's bench when it got turned over. The
Yeah.
Italian went like Gaston,
Yeah.
Gaston, Gaston. I wish I could speak. I wish I could speak Italian, and then all of us were like, "Oh my lord!" He did it right. Like he was sitting right at the back. you know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so that was just bonkers. I think to me, reality is like apart from the moment that I won, of course, it's seeing Ashton Rooster on that USA singlet on the IPF platform. I think that will live on for me forever.
Hmm.
I mean, of course, it's Americans. You know, I had this grudge about them coming with the sweep. I wanted to end the sweep. I think I did my job on that one. Um, so seeing him on that single on that because for years, well, I started powerlifting in 2016, and of course, Ashton emerged when he beat LS McLean and all of that. And Ashton, I used to watch USAPL Nat. I wait here until like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm just waiting for Ashton to step on the platform. I was anticipating this man need to get on the IPF platform to the point where I was even planning one day if he doesn't come, I'm gonna pay a ticket. I will fly to America, come and watch him live. Because
Mhm.
I things he was doing on the platform, it was just unreal for me. I look at this
Right.
man squatting like he's in hybrid athlete in terms of he does sumo and conventional. To me, it's just mind-boggling. And of course, seeing Bob as well, on the platform for the first time, and seeing Austin Perkins, because me and Austin became a little bit friends since I had him on the podcast, and it's just seeing him do what he did, you know, it's just like in the good American Petrie. You gotta have
Mhm.
to love Petrie, man. No matter where you are from, no matter what continent, no matter what planet, no matter what race, you got to love Petrie.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He's just a people's person. You know what I mean? And for to see them like again, like this is just unbelievable to see these guys. Probably all these guys, like I mentioned here, they were in the USA PL. Them coming to the IPF, to me, it was just like, this is what we wanted. Even Russ himself, seeing Russ on the IPF platform after 3 years being away, all these moments was just like, wow, these are the best powerlifters that ever lived. And they're
Mhm.
now on that IPF platform. To me, those moments, it's just like, will live on forever, forever,
Right.
forever. So those
Yeah,
are
I think
great moments.
yeah, I think that's why this world was so like amazing too, because I was looking forward to a lot of them moving over as well. I thought they were going to move over the same year I did. Um, and I mean, I knew they were going to come over somehow, someday, and now we have it. And now who knows who else is going to come out
Yeah,
next year,
yeah.
right?
So, the bloody Thanos is coming. All of us are expecting him. Rondell is coming. You know what I mean? So every power lifter, every podcast, every social media, people thinking Rondell is coming. So I hope no pressure, Rondell. Just imagine if Rondell comes in and they can't get 3 squats. Oh my lord!
Oh,
And I bet knowing Rondell will listen to this and he'll clip it. I'm just joking. I didn't mean that.
he'll,
But yeah.
he'll keep it for next time.
I know the anticipation is really high, and we all can't wait to see what he's capable of at the IPF platform. Leading on to yourself, like of course, you're waiting for that Sheffield wild card. If you can clinch that, if you don't, of course, you mentioned there the resigner worker in winter that you'll be able to do. But again, at the same time, doing that silent work in winter, that means your national is closer.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't care.
Oh, so that mean like basically what you're saying, like you unbeatable by the national that say you can go and have fun, do it easy.
I mean, we've seen it for the past, what, 2, 3 years or something. I don't, it'll be fine there. I'm good.
So you don't have the competition at home. Okay. I mean, I haven't, to be fair, I haven't really scouted the American 47 to know how they're moving. I know there's Ether has always been around, but apart from Ether, I don't know anyone else. But yeah, so your national is coming. When is it? Is it in February?
Um, Honestly, I haven't seen any updates about it, so probably in February.
So do the nationals, clinch your ticket to world again. So I mean, since you're gonna be doing the winter edition, I mean, you don't give a fuck about the national, isn't it? You're just gonna walk in like I walk to sign a work and win.
Yeah,
Okay.
why
And
not?
then I mean, what else can I say on that note? Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from here. Jessica Espinal. She's just gonna walk into the national and win. But hopefully this time you're gonna get your third deadlift, right? And
Yeah, hopefully I
hopefully
get my third deadlift and two or more benches than one,
I mean,
right?
I mean, with your judging in America, don't worry, you'll get them. You know, what I mean, that's not even a
Yeah.
problem. You get them. That's easy. You get them, no problem. So cool. And in terms of like future goals, in terms of the totals, I know we've spoken about the World Games. We've spoken about the Winter Edition, which is a bit great. Again, I will advocate that one. If you got the opportunity to come to France and do it, just don't waste time. Just come and do it. You enjoy it. Your total, a world, your best is 422,
Mhm.
right? A world, you loaded for 435.
Hmm.
So are we anticipating the full 35 at the next meet? And are you going to make weight at this winter edition? Or is it something you're saving for next year World?
Um, Honestly, it just depends. Just because, okay, I'm competing in a couple weeks actually. So we'll see.
Doing what?
Junior Worlds. What else?
You're kidding, right?
No.
So you're going to Malta to do Junior World?
Yeah, I gotta redeem myself from Malta last year.
Oh my God. And what weight class?
47.
You know Tiffany Sapone is doing as well.
Yeah. Isn't she doing it at 52 though?
So you
But
didn't want to do.
if she goes down to 47, I'm down for another battle. I always love competing against her. So we can push it.
Jesus. So what's the expectation? I mean, I didn't even know you were doing Junior World. Wow, that's a breaking news here for me. What's the expectation there for you at Junior World?
Um, Probably just put up the total that I didn't at Lithuania. Probably get 3 benches and probably get all 3 deadlifts as well.
So basically, that tour was a 430, 35.
Um, yeah, I'll probably try not to push the Sheffield total up that much, but
Yeah, but at the moment, it's 433. If you put it for 435, it's only 2 kilos. That's fine.
that is true. That is
That's
true.
fine. Yeah, that is only 2 kilos. That's fine. And then the funny thing is, exact same thing Carlina did the first edition. She broke the 76 world record at the Commonwealth. You can't go to Sheffield breaking Jessica Espinal's world record while she's not there. The difference was between Delaney and Ross at
Mhm.
Sheffield because Ross was in USAPL. Ross
Right.
wasn't in the IPF. So if Ross was in the IPF, Delaney would not go to Sheffield and break Ross's record while Ross is not there.
Exactly.
Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So at the Genius, if you total 435, you put yourself in a very great spot right there. Because Tiffany can't go to Sheffield and break Jessica's toe while Jessica's not there. You know? And people call me I'm mental. You going to a next comp in the next few weeks. When are you flying out?
I fly out. I compete on like the 31st or the 1st of August or September. I'm not sure which day. One of those 2 days. But I get there on the 27th.
Good luck for this one. I wish
Thank
you luck. Hopefully you hit that bench depth. Hopefully you hit that, and hopefully you don't YOLO your last deadlift. You actually get your 435,
Yeah,
which would be wonderful.
I'm not gonna do the Enna strategy this time.
I mean, to be honest with you, like if you look at the nomination, probably you're up there. It wins the rest, so you can do it, Anna. You can do the strategy of skipping your second deadlift just to your third deadlift to get into 435.
Oh my God, don't put any ideas in my head.
I'm just saying, if you need to go to 435, if you got your three squats, even though you hate squats, you got your three bench press, even though you can't hit depth, if you can manage to get depth, and then your deadlift, you get your opener, skip your second, and go all out on your third for 435.
That's true. And like you said, 2 kilos is not that much. I'm sure that if I would have gotten, or if everything would have been perfect on the day, I probably could have done that. But now I have another opportunity to do so. So
Exactly. So I
there we
think
go.
there's you doing junior world. There is Jad will be doing junior world. There's Tiffany will be doing junior world. I don't know what's wrong with you ladies. I don't know what mosquito bit you or something. I have no idea why you're doing this. Because you're already in the open and you guys are, you are the best lifters in the open at your ages, even though you're still juniors. And I'm sure probably Agatha will be doing it, you know.
Good.
I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't do it. Probably she will be doing it as an 84. So it's just gonna be bloody fucking mental. So yeah, it's interesting to see what you guys post, but at the same time as well, I'm loving the fact that all these big names like yourself, Tiffany, Jad, potentially Agatha are doing it is because people watch. I
Yeah.
love people to watch powerlifting. I don't care whether it's masters, juniors, or whatever. I love people to watch the sports. So when you have got these big names lifting on the women's side, people watch. On the men's side, they already have got some established big juniors like the Nonso or the rest. People want to see what Nonso is capable of. So, the lack of us and the rest will be tuning in to see what these guys are capable of. On the women's side, then having you guys joining that pack, it will help the world championship for people to watch. That will be interesting. So please don't go there and break yourself. Just get your 435 and deep, right? So don't kill yourself for that. Thank you very much, Jess. It was wonderful to chat to you again, as always. Good luck for the juniors. Good luck for the winter edition. Hopefully, if I have time, I will make it. To come and watch you guys because I kind of work as one of them mid where like you just enjoy it. First of all, the French treat you like a superstar, like a real star, like a real athlete. That's what they treat you, number one. And number two is you actually have fun. You enjoy what you do on that platform. You just like, yeah, you go all out. You have fun. And to our listeners, anyone who's listening to us, you have got a comment, a question for Jess, drop Jess a DM or drop me a DM or a comment in the comment section. If Jess does not reply to your message, it's fine. Typical Americans. I will try my best to literally get you the answers that you want. But I think Jess is one of those good Americans. She will actually respond to people that,
Yeah.
yeah.
And if you respond and you also say something about my depth, yeah, I'll respond immediately. So like
Exactly, exactly. We need to start talking
okay.
about that Jess depth. So yeah, that would be fantastic. So Jess, you are a coach yourself. Is there any way people can reach out to you, shout out, or your sponsors?
Yeah, shout out to SBD primarily. I love them. Powerlifting America for helping me out. And you can always just DM me. I don't really like broadcast my coaching like that. Just because I know it's not my main form of income. I just love to do it. Um, so yeah, just shoot me a DM and we can work things out.
Guys, you've heard it. If you want to become one of the best lifters in the world and be on the international platform like Jess, you know where to find that. On that note, guys, we speak to you guys soon.